Hey, what's up everybody? It's the Crypto Ginger here. Just wanted to do a quick recap video for everyone to kind of go over some of the more recent circulating news and of course going over some of the bigger entities that are actually supposedly going live with their platforms. And one of those happens to be Bakkt. Now, this is an article coming from BitcoinExchangeGuide.com where we see that Bakkt is planning a Q3 opening as sources affirm plan is risky for Bitcoin futures platform. So two things here. We have referenced that we could possibly see some sort of public announcement soon within the Q3 of this year for a live date for Bakkt. And of course, the second part of this right here is talking about the risky parts of Bakkt going live there and not having enough of the funding that's going to be necessary to actually settle different types of positions there for those Bitcoin futures. So what we can see here quickly is that according to sources, the company is taking too much risk. For instance, the guarantee fund set by the company is considered too small to cover positions. ICE is set to use $35 million to start this fund, but this is far from a large sum of money. This was not considered a normal practice and could end causing issues for the company in the long term. Now, it goes further to state that one of the sources, Ricky Lee, the co-founder of Autonomy, is openly criticizing the company for not having a fund of at least $400 million instead of a measly $35 million. It goes further to state that, fortunately, it seems that the company is acknowledging the issue already and there are plans to raise the sum of the funds there in the future, which will help diminish these issues there that's being caused as far as these sources are concerned. In any case, most sources consider the plan to be good enough in order to start the business. They just seem somewhat concerned about the value. So we can understand rightfully so that if you want to make sure that all these positions for Bitcoin futures are being covered, you want to have a substantial amount of money there to fund those. So makes sense. If they're starting off with $35 million, that's really not a lot of money by comparison to even $400 million. But I would imagine that's still not a lot when it comes to the grand scope of what's going to be happening for the cryptocurrency space, especially if this actually does take off and we start seeing more of maybe Wall Street money and big financial institutions wanted to be a part of Bakkt and opening up for these Bitcoin futures there. So again, kind of a controversial talking point, but my guess is that since this is a big name entity there, that they are absolutely going to be able to raise the capital for this guarantee fund so that they can actually have, again, all of the positions there covered when it comes to the Bitcoin futures there. A couple of things I wanted to quickly go over just as well. So this next talking point I want to go over is actually something posted by Rob_Cash71. Definitely give him a follow. A good person in the XRP community. This article he posted here is linked to something he specified that says Zuckerberg stole Facebook from Winklevoss brothers and used it to steal our data and now this. And of course it's linked to an article by BitcoinExchangeGuide.com where we see that Facebook's Libra concept was ripped from MIT students' 2018 research paper. Now, of course, the article itself is a quick read. I would definitely go through here and just kind of give it a glance over, but I think the title alone says enough there, guys. There are people like Mark Zuckerberg and his crew that know no bounds when it comes to stealing your innovations, your ideas, and calling it their own. And if you have enough money and power, you can do that. And that is exactly what we're seeing here. And of course, understanding anything when it comes to the history of Facebook and understanding they've taken your data and sold it to third parties, what do you think they would do if you have the Libra stablecoin and tracking that information? Why do you think the U.S. government and the Senate and the Congress got all up in arms when it comes to what Facebook is trying to do with this creation of the Libra coin? But again, the idea that Zuckerberg and his crew know no bounds when it comes to stealing other people's ideas and innovations and making it their own is just, it's beyond absurd at this point in time. But I want to give, again, another shout out to Rob_Cash71 for posting this. Guys, give him a follow, give this article here a quick read, and let me know what you guys think about this information here. Now, I wanted to kind of segue from that information there to something I found very interesting when it comes to the Ripple blockchain. Of course, this is an article coming from The Block where we see that an interview with a controversial developer putting personal files on the XRP Ledger has actually caused a ripple in the actual community of XRP. Now, it has quite a bit of an extensive read here, and it is all based off of a recent post on Twitter by either a company or at least someone going by the handle of INDLMM, which is, I believe, the actual company name for this platform being used, which will allow you to upload any size file to Ripple blockchain. Now, once this happened here, a lot of people came out of the woodworks talking about how this is negative for Ripple's blockchain. It'll bog it down. And this article kind of emphasizes that. They actually wrote quick little synopsis here when it comes to the article, and so I wanted to kind of go over that so you have a firm understanding here. But what we see is that the block spoke to an anonymous developer of that platform who triggered a mass backlash this week by launching a file storage on the XRP Ledger. Ripple was not designed for censorship resistant file storage, but is technically a viable platform for it. And of course, this is sparking fears that the blockchain could be crippled by an overload or that illegal files could be uploaded onto it. That's definitely a concern, but interesting enough, as far as, for example, the illegal files or different types of imagery, for example, that would be highly illegal. That has been something apparently that has been either posted through the Bitcoin blockchain at some given time through the history of Bitcoin and hasn't been a controversial issue yet. So again, that type of argument there is still up in the air, but it still is something that I would definitely be concerned with when it comes to this platform and this new protocol that allows for file dumping on Ripple's blockchain. Just simply an overload of the actual blockchain itself is something that I think would cause enough concern that it needs to be looked into. And the last part of this quick take is that the developer, who actually called themselves a blockchain novice, explains that the intentions basically and the possibility of what they've done here is going to be scrapped. Now, rightfully so, if he's going to be considering himself a novice and he's actually creating this to have different types of just unnecessary file storage on the Ripple blockchain, yeah, absolutely, scrap the idea because it's not necessary. It does prove a point that obviously the Ripple blockchain could actually be viable for it, like it's specified here, but it's not what it was actually intended and built for. So that would be something regarding the Internet of Value, transferring money back and forth. And of course, if you happen to have an overload of information unnecessarily on a Ripple blockchain, which is actually ran by validator nodes, that means that anyone who is actually running a node would have to validate all of that information there unnecessarily. So you can see where this becomes a controversial problem when it comes to, again, someone creating this just for the sake of having unnecessary file data information uploaded to the Ripple blockchain. Now, of course, there are definitely those who are Ripple developers that are currently in the works to try to fix this particular bug here. As a matter of fact, there was a recent article posted on finance.yahoo.com that specifies that Ripple devs rush to fix a flaw in the XRP's blockchain. Now, of course, this is just a quick read that kind of goes over some of the Ripple developers that are going about trying to correct this issue here so that we don't happen to see any issues in the near future, or hopefully some exposures of other types of platforms trying to be created on the Ripple blockchain. But got to give a huge shout out to XRP 1000 Bones, who's part of the XRP Zoo, for posting this here. And of course, if you aren't following XRP Zoo, definitely give them a follow. They're definitely a good group of people in the XRP community. They had me on as far as a live session on their channel. So very, very fun guys, very knowledgeable as well. Give them a follow. And of course, XRP 1000 Bones is also a BitTrue ambassador, just like XRP Crypto Wolf. He's just another one of those faces there that's part of the XRP community. I would highly suggest following, and very knowledgeable on his own as well. So definitely give him a follow. Give this article here a quick read, but you can see again, Ripple developers are definitely going about trying to fix this particular issue in the XRP's blockchain so that we don't have to worry about these things in the future, hopefully. But I would imagine that one of the people, as far as the developers for Ripple, that's in this right here, as far as this article is concerned, is VC Live. If you're not familiar with him, he is the creator of the XRP tip bot. So you have him to thank when it comes to receiving all these random XRP tips through your XRP tip bot. So good guy to be as far as a Ripple developer looking into this issue here for the XRP blockchain and fixing these flaws there. Outside of that, guys, a couple of things I want to quickly go over as well. So, for some more exciting news around a major talking point that's been going on in the XRP community is when SBI VC Trade is supposed to be going live. Well, recently they took to Twitter and posted something very interesting here. And what we can see once we translate this Japanese to English is that notice of implementation of system maintenance in preparation for starting new service provision. That's supposed to happen on July 31st, which is on a Wednesday, guys. So it looks as though we are supposed to be seeing some sort of activity happen, whether it's to go live or at least to give us reference of a live standpoint, like a live date. But all of this is supposed to happen on the 31st of July. I'm hopeful, right alongside of many of the others in the XRP community, that we'll start seeing live implementation of transfers back and forth when it comes to XRP on the 31st for SBI VC Trade. Now, of course, that right there mixed alongside of MoneyGram being partnered up with Ripple. This right here could activate some price increase with the XRP digital asset there. And if you start correlating all of this information, guys, with what we have for MoneyGram's partnership with Ripple, SBI VC Trade possibly going live, and then, of course, with the Q2 report that Ripple released when it comes to the markets report for XRP, and also the information and talking points about how they've reduced the over-the-counter sales, I think that what we have here as far as what XRP Neo's explanation is concerned might be hitting the nail right on the head here. He says that the fact that Ripple now decides to reduce their OTC sales, or their over-the-counter sales, and instead focus on on-demand liquidity for exchanges is very interesting. Very interesting timing with MoneyGram, which I think supports my theory that they will jumpstart XRapid liquidity. Multi-hop for MoneyGram. Now, of course, this is his theory, but it could be onto something when it comes to what we're seeing. All of these different players out there getting activated, if you will, and quite possibly jumpstarting XRapid liquidity. That could be absolutely huge when it comes to the price point of XRP. So a lot of things are happening, guys, for sure, and it could be one of these things where Q3 and Q4 really show us some nice returns when it comes to XRP jumping up in price. But again, a lot of this is just kind of based off of some theories that are happening, and we could start seeing some jump starting of, again, the XRapid liquidity happening there. Let me know what you guys think about this information, guys. Well, a couple of things I want to quickly go over as well. Now, this next bit of information might get me some flack from the XRP community. Just depends. Really, this is all based off of charting and technical analysis with charts, and there are a lot of people who do not like technical analysis with charting because in most cases when it comes to XRP, it doesn't necessarily follow in suit with what people have actually projected. But nonetheless, I think that this particular take here from Cryptomaniac 101 is very intriguing, very interesting, and it gives a lot of people hope. Obviously, you know, you can only have so much hopium before you really have to come back down to reality. But nonetheless, it was a very interesting take here. You guys can actually take this with a grain of salt, like we should all be doing. But you can see here on a next bull cycle, there could be a very, very good situation happening when it comes to repeating different types of patterns. And if we happen to see a repeated pattern in the near future for XRP, that could, as far as a trajectory is concerned, put us around maybe $50, $55. Again, this is all according to this charting here, and anything is possible when it comes to the cryptocurrency space. But nonetheless, it's just another interesting take when it comes to technical analysis. So you have to let me know what you guys think about this information. Again, I know it's possible I'll get some flack for this because of who this is coming from. But again, you have to understand this is just their particular take on how technical analysis could be seen for XRP. And I just wanted to make sure that we're all at least taking in consideration that what is happening with MoneyGram, the partnership between them and Ripple, SBI VC Trade going live possibly on July 31st, and starting to see an influx of money possibly coming into the market, but more specifically for XRP. We could easily see some sort of major price point jump for the XRP coin and digital asset there. So you'll have to let me know what you guys think about this, guys. If you want to throw in your prediction as far as the price point is concerned, definitely leave that in the comments section. I know that ultimately we need to at least see a 50-cent mark first for XRP, then a dollar mark, and then of course after that we could be seeing something pretty major happening for the XRP ecosystem. But nonetheless, guys, again, it's just another take on this. Let me know what you think. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of this channel. If you are new to this channel, please hit the like and subscribe button if you like what you see here. And of course, please share this content out with as many people as you possibly can. The more people, people that we can get on board here, the better they're going to be when it comes to positioning themselves for some major takeoff for cryptocurrencies. But other than that, guys, thank you again for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.